Okay, welcome back everybody. So today's the day you're going to learn how to play 19th Nervous Breakdown by the Rolling Stones. This is definitely early era Stones, and lots of interesting interplay and guitar between Keith and Brian. Not overly complicated, but there are definite parts in there, and I wanted to cover both of these. So we are going to do that. Hey, if you haven't done so already, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. The bell lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I really appreciate that. There's thanks, which you can click right below. It's like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all the lessons that I do here on YouTube, like this one. Okay, so 19th Nervous Breakdown. Love this era Stones. And this is before Keith emerged into what we sort of know as Keith in the late 60s and 70s with his 5 strings on the guitar and playing an open G most of the time. This almost sort of gets there with the riff that he's playing, but it's a little different. It's a little different. But let's start with that opening riff. So first of all, we're in standard tuning. You use all 6 strings. In terms of tone, I'm clean. I'll put the settings down below of what I've got going on here, but I've got what is sort of the closest to the guitar that he used. I don't have the exact same one, and I don't remember exactly what it is. I'll put it on screen here, but you can see it, him playing that guitar on the Ed Sullivan Show live when the song came out, and it sounds exactly like the record. That's what he used. But this is sort of closest to what I've got, or to what he had there that gets closest to the sound. So I think it sounds best when you have some kind of hollow body. For me, it's on the neck pickup. And again, I've got clean going on. I don't have any overdrive. I'll kick on a fuzz on that one part that we'll get to, but that's the only time that there's sort of any kind of grid or overdrive or anything. But let's talk about that opening riff. So he's basing this opening riff off of an E chord here at that position. He's not playing the whole chord. He's laying his index finger over on the 9th fret over the first 4 strings, but he's really only playing 4, 3, and 2. And what he's doing is, he's not doing the Keith chord, what he does for the rest of his life, right? He's not doing that. It's not that. It is this. So instead of laying your fingers down on the 2nd and the 4th string, which is future Keith, present Keith or past Keith, you're doing this on the B string and the G string. So that's the riff, and I think he's hammering on that G string. But you really want to get that clean, just those 3 notes, and that's what announces the song, right? So that's the opening riff. Then it comes, then it just launches right into the verse, and he's playing an E chord. Now he's playing this very much by feel. It's not a part that he duplicates again and again and again, exactly the same, but he's riffing off of this E chord, and every once in a while he's picking up his ring finger to get that sort of 7th sound and hammering it back on. So it's like this. And it's not the same. It's just play it by feel. And every once in a while, get this E string note on 9, which, when you bar your finger over, you can catch that. Every once in a while, he'll hit that, right? Not a lot. Don't emphasize it, but hit that every once in a while. All right, then he goes to his A, and it's pretty much just an A bar chord. Plays it pretty straight, back to your E. B. On the B, he's going to do the same riff that you did on the opening, only from the B position. right? The whole rest of the band plays the A chord, but if you're playing the Keith guitar part, don't do that, because you got to get down to your fuzz or overdrive or whatever you're going to do to kick on and kick it on. So that's what it is, clean. I think you have those two notes rubbing together to get the effect. Now you can play that in a bunch of different places, right? You could do it down there. I think it sounds best right there, and most of the time that Keith plays it live on the Sullivan Show, he's right there. Although he doesn't have the effect at the Ed Sullivan Show, and it sounds awful. It sounds weak. I think the first time he goes down there, and the rest of the time it just sounds lacking, as you would expect, right? So that's really it. That's all the chords. You know, all the other inversions, the places, you know, like the bridge. That girl. And then when nothing I do don't seem to work, that part, you're just doing the riff on A, and then you're going to do the riff on B. Rinse and repeat. That's the entire song, but it's so cool. Like, that part is just great. Fits right in the pocket. So that's really it for the Keith part. Let's talk about the Brian Jones part. All right, now in the Brian Jones part, I don't know what guitar he used. I'm just switching guitar to get a different sound. On the Sullivan Show, he had this really great Firebird 7, I think, you know, the 3 pickup with the tremolo bar and everything. And maybe he used it on the record. So this is sort of the closest thing that I've got to that. But again, very clean, neck pickup. But the important subtle effect that he has is a little bit of tremolo going on. And I think it's one of the optical tremolos. You know, there's a couple different versions of the tremolos, like in the Fender amps, for example. Like the brown face ones have this optical tremolo versus, I forget what the other one's called, but that sounds to me more like what this is. Now I'm using my Vibe Viscous, which sort of gets that tone. I don't know if you can pick that up over YouTube. But there's just sort of a subtle, I'll turn the intensity up a little bit. You can hear that one, right? So it's sort of a soft rounded wave, but that's the sort of sound. So clean, that effect. And that's the riff. It's riff, it's root, octave, fifth, octave, right? So you're just playing all these on the 6, 5, and 4 string. And he just plays that over whatever the chord is that's going on. Better stop. Burning out. And that's it. On the bridge. Maybe he plays a chord. Anyway, but it's very understated. So he was probably very bored. He looked bored playing that live, for damn sure. No wonder the dude took drugs, right? All right, well, that's 19th Nervous Breakdown by the Rolling Stones. I hope you learned something new today. If you haven't done so already and you like what you saw, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. Bell lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this. And if there's another song you want me to take on and do another lesson similar, I'd love to hear that too. Okay, Until next week, take care, everybody.